Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Friday night football. I do have a bit of a problem here in this. Hamilton's at Toronto tonight, and Calgary's at BC. And later on, you'll probably be gone. But when we talk about what's the featured game that we're going to be watching tonight, for me, it's the Argos and the Ticats. Reading all the coverage of it. Ryan Dinwiddie saying, this is it. This is what I wanted when I got involved as the head coach of the Argos. First place on the line, win and you're in. Argos win tonight, which, by the way, they're 5-0 at BMO Field this year. They've never lost at home. Can we get a little noise here, Toronto? And he says,
awesome.
He's like, this is what you want. We win tonight. We clinch first. We clinch home field in the East Final. Hamilton's won 3 in a row coming into the game. You wouldn't know about it watching SportsCenter. Sorry to say, because I watched SportsCenter 3 times, and unless I took my eye off for a second and run to the bathroom, I didn't see anything about this game on the national rights holder for the Canadian Football League, and that is disgraceful. So I'll be in the media room getting ready tonight to broadcast Edmonton Regina, okay, God's team, the Regina Pats, and I'll be watching that game. And I'm very excited. That's the game I'm focused about, the Ticats and the Argos. By the way, it's 11-11, Moose. Just so you know.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So the opportunity portal is opening. Yes. Oh. Now's our time. And then later on, Calgary at BC. And BC's got to win. And if they do, they'll win the season series against Calgary. And that'll keep their hopes alive. I'll be probably knocked out for sure by the second half of that game. But I don't know. Hamilton, Toronto's a big one. And you almost wouldn't know. What's going on here?
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show. Now,
they talk about the Cowboys every day. You understand there's 31 other NFL teams. How many Major League Baseball teams are there? 30? 32 NHL teams. They only talk about the Cowboys.
how about that?
They're America's team, and by the way, it's all just marketing. Have you watched the documentary on America's Team or the football life? It was just marketing. It was the late 70s. But the football guys didn't like it.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It sure is. Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to a brand new week. It is Canada's daytime sports talk show. We're broadcasting from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle here today, and it's just me here in the bunker for a while. We got the regular crew here on the other side of this wall. We've got Moose Dupont joining us from an undisclosed location. It's undisclosed for now because he's going to be joining me in just a couple of moments' time here for the warm-up for E-Cold Electric. He's not going to be happy to know that here in the world headquarters of the RP show, the internet's a little funky. Have you guys noticed that? Director Jordan says it's fine now. I don't know. It's not coming up too good here on my phone, but that's okay. We'll get through. We're on the air on Game Plus Television Network across all 10 provinces in 31 states. And I see everybody chiming in. I hope you had a good weekend. Everybody's writing in. They're watching on YouTube. The text line is open. You can always write us here at 902-518-3033. Starting a brand new week for the Taco Time comment of the week. Sean in Vancouver, who watches every day on Game Plus, won last week his $50 gift card to Taco Time, and that's a lot of tacos. Coming up on the program today, Carlo Colaiacovo from TSN 1050 Toronto, morning man there, former Maple Leaf and Sabre, and I think a few other teams too, right, Clark? And Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet Winnipeg as we get down on some NHL. But we got a lot of things to get to here on the warm-up, and we're going to get to the CFL. We're going to get to all things Canadian football, NHL, and we're going to be opening up with NFL in a moment. But can we bring in the Moose right now? The Moose is loose. How you doing, Moose?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm great.
Tell the viewers what's going on in your life today, if you don't mind.
You were watching on Friday. This is the same backdrop, still in Winnipeg. So, after we got off the air Friday, it looked pretty good. I thought everything was rolling pretty smooth. And then at about noon, Well, I guess more about right after we got off the air. I guess it'd be 1 o'clock local time here. The fog started rolling in, the clouds, and then all the snow came down. You saw that on social media for the football game Friday night or Saturday. It just rolled with snow, and the fog came in as well yesterday, so I couldn't come home yesterday. So the visibility was bad, so I'm kind of storm-stayed in Winnipeg, but I'll be venturing out this afternoon.
Well, be safe, my friend, and I appreciate having you here this morning to talk sports here for Ecole Electric. And before we get to the Quick Six show topics, let's just open it up with the RP Show Weekend Photo Album presented by Great Western Brewing. It's got all of our weekends here involved. We ask you to... Oh! They tell me they've hit a glitch, Darren. And it's not ready.
I heard.
Oh, you heard? You could hear it? Okay, so it's always nice to find out on the fly of glitches. So can we hit the show horn? Can we do that? Do we have the show horn ready? Thank you, Jordan. So let's open with the National Football League, please, if you don't mind. Why not? That was the lead item on SportsCenter this morning. I watched it twice.
Yeah,
I got some highlights here because it's only a 2-hour show. We're not going to go through the entire 2 hours talking about the National Football League. But here's what I thought. The Dallas Cowboys are what we thought they were. And they humiliated the Atlanta Falcons 43-3. We had our way with it. Like it was over a couple minutes into the game. And I get a little annoyed because you saw the upset of the day was Washington beating Tampa Bay by 10. 29-19. It was the biggest, if you want to go from a betting perspective, the biggest spread was Tampa was supposed to beat Washington, and Washington clubbed the Bucs. But in the morning show, I'm watching your boy Rex Ryan, and he goes, not time to hit the panic button in Dallas, but for sure we're concerned about the Cowboys after last week. And I'm like, wait, stop, Rex. And then the Bucs get their asses handed to them. Tom, they turn it over a couple times early, and now the Bucs, it's a panic in Tampa Bay, and they're not Super Bowl favorites. And then you watch the late game last night, and the guys on NBC are like, Cowboys, Super Bowl contenders and favorites. Now I'm like, oh, really? Because 9 hours ago, there was concern in Dallas. That's the thing. You only, Darren, I think, need to just watch the games and stay away from the bunk. And I would tell anybody, don't watch daytime shows like ours because it's going to rot your mind, but they just can't stay away because they love it so much. And your Titans, I'm very impressed. I mean, they beat New Orleans, as you know, 23-21, but they are maybe the most consistent team in the National Football League. Would you agree with the Tennessee Titans being that?
Yeah, they lost their horse, right? And Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, who was maybe their 1B receiver, goes out with an ACL injury, I believe it was, or it's an injury that's going to keep him out for a long time. He's been dealing with that hamstring injury. And then they still find ways to win. So resilience, they battled through. It wasn't the most impressive win, but they survived, and their defense played well, and their coaching's been good, and they've shored up the special teams. And, hey, they look pretty impressive. And with the Cardinals losing too, do we have a Titans maybe number one in tomorrow's top 5? I don't know. They might be there.
All right. Well, you have a long drive home from Winnipeg to figure that out. So that's point 1, our NFL take from Week 10. Point 2, Sunday in the National Hockey League, Kyler Yamamoto scored in the final minute as the Oilers beat the Blues 5-4 in St. Louis. Connor McDavid, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Leon Draisaitl, and Ryan McLeod also scored for Edmonton, which won in St. Louis for the first time since December 5th, 2018. Mikko Koskinen made 35 saves as the Oilers improved to 11-3 on the season. They look very strong, and they continue to play 80s hockey. We thought they were going to overtime, and it didn't happen. They won 5-4 in St. Louis, and all is good. How about the Ducks? Trevor Zegras had 2 goals and a helper. Troy Terry extended his scoring streak to 14 games, and the Anaheim Ducks rolled to their 7th straight victory, 5-1, over the Vancouver Canucks on Sunday night. My only thinking on the Ducks is this. Yes, I had them picked to finish 3rd in the Pacific Division, and we're a long, long ways away from the end of the regular season, Moose. Do you think, because they're so young, that the Anaheim Ducks are a wet paper box? And by that, you know what I mean, that the bottom's going to fall out at some point because they're so young? Are they the upstart new kids on the block in the National Hockey League? Because that's what I think they are.
They might be. They might be. It might be a situation of they're too young to know better. to know any better about
That's
where
true.
they're supposed to be and let the pressure get to them, right? So when you're young and you can just fly by the seat of your pants, you're not worried about falling. Sometimes you just keep rolling. I mean, my biggest question for Anaheim will be, and a young group like that, will be if they run into problems, if they go on a cold, not if, when they go on a cold streak, when they hit a problem, can they get out of it? The veterans that they have, like Ryan Getzlaf, is that enough to get that group and battle through it? We'll find out. But right now, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Continuing on, Garnet Hathaway scored his third goal in 2 games. Alex Ovechkin added 2 helpers, and the Washington Capitals routed the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-1 Sunday night in Sidney Crosby's first game back. Dean, watching in Wisconsin, has written us, with Sidney losing his cool last night. Is this typical Sidney stuff, he says? Yeah, when they play Washington, it is. Sid tends to lose his lid, and so what? I mean, that's the one thing with our stars. When they don't show any emotion, oh, they're robots. And then when they lose their lid a little bit, oh, what's wrong? What's wrong with them? That's Sid. They don't like Washington. Washington don't like them. He was frustrated. Let him be frustrated.
That's the stars, right? We see it with Crosby. They don't want to lose. They don't want to play bad. We saw it with Tom Brady yesterday, too. When he was in the fourth quarter and they were trying to come back in that game, and he threw the one pass. I can't remember who it was to, but they did not get the pass interference call, and he turned to the ref, and you could see his face. Are you effing kidding me? Like, he was very loud and vocal and frustrated. Like, that's Tom, right? Don't like to lose. Sid, too.
I'm getting through this, but I'm going to tell the CFL fans and the football fans that are watching to just don't get your panties in a bunch, because in the next segment, we'll spend more time on it. So Tom Brady said to the referee, are you effing kidding me? But what happens if a ref says, F them? What if he says it back?
How about that?
What's supposed to happen to him? And that happened on Saturday. And trust me, we're getting to that. And I invite the viewers to write in with their thoughts of the weekend. What were their Week 10 NFL takeaways, their NHL notes from the weekend? And just listen. I'm saving that CFL referee who said F them at Saskatchewan Saturday, which, by the way, I cannot get enough of. Nor can you. That's coming up. Charlie Coyle and Charlie McAvoy each scored twice, and the Boston Bruins beat the Montreal Canadiens 5-2 in the 750th meeting between the longtime rivals on Sunday night. It was the first time they faced each other in nearly 2 years, 641 days to be exact. More important than that, what are the chances of one team having 2 guys named Charlie? What are the odds? Well, in 1953, probably pretty good.
Pretty good.
But I don't know about 2021. Calgary Flames netminder Dan Vladar made 27 saves to post his first career shutout in a 4-0 win over the Ottawa Senators on Sunday. Am I saying the name right? Vladar. Am I saying that right? Do you know, Clark? Or is it Vlader? We don't even... Vladar? Okay. We don't know who the guy is. But if he keeps getting shutouts, we will. The Flames are now 8-3-1. They were led by Elias Lindholm with a goal and an assist. Andrew Mangiapane, Matthew Tkachuk, and Nikita Zadorov also scored. Chris Kreider scored the deciding goal in the 7th round of the shootout, and the New York Rangers beat the New Jersey Devils 4-3. Capo Caco had a goal and an assist, and Adam Fox and Alexei Lafreniere also scored for the Rangers, who have won 3 in a row, and they beat the Devils for a 7th straight time. Alexander Gorgiev made 24 saves for the Blue Shirts. It's 11:11. The opportunity portal is opening. Will you walk through it?
Let's go.
Okay, interjecting here. Point 3 is split between 3A and 3B. And I'm going to jump. Again, I'm saving the CFL stuff for next segment when we have way more time. So you and I have spent a lot of time on the phone over the last couple of days, even though that we've been, 2 provinces apart. But soccer, we said we would talk about what's hot. Striker Jonathan David's 57th minute goal lifted Canada to a 1-0 win over Costa Rica in a World Cup qualifier in front of 48,806 fans at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton on Friday. The goal came after Costa Rican goalkeeper Lionel Morera fumbled across into the penalty area, leaving David to slot the ball home. To me, this is like Mandarin, what I'm reading. I have no idea what I'm reading, but I'm reading it. With the win, Canada remained in third place in CONCACAF's octagonal. Canada has 13 points from 7 matches, while Costa Rica fell to 1-3-3. Mexico and the United States topped the table with 14 points each. Canada hosts Mexico on Tuesday at the same venue. So I'm getting it in there. And Friday, I watched, obviously, I mentioned, you saw it in the pre-show, broadcast the Edmonton-Regina game, which was lovely.
Yep.
Didn't watch the soccer. I assume it was on one of 5 TSN's channels. So you see Canada won. And we had a little debate. We've had a big debate, actually, about 50,000 showing up for a soccer game at Commonwealth versus they can't get 10,000 in the door for the Elks. And people are saying, oh, it's a once-in-a-lifetime game. People traveling from all over the... No, you're missing my point. Because I'm in all these sports venues, as are you, all the leagues, all over the continent, and people are saying, oh, it's because of the mask. We got a crappy crowd tonight. Oh, tug at the mask. Oh, it's because of the vaccine passport. People don't want to line up for blocks, which we saw at university football games, junior hockey games, NHL games. We saw it in Edmonton. Why are 50,000 showing up at this soccer game then? Because I thought people didn't want to gather in big crowds. I thought people didn't have money. That's what I'm getting at. And I still don't have an answer. Do you?
It's storylines. It's building compelling storylines. It's marketing. It's creating buzz. You know, you can't just say we're here and we're so good and so popular that it doesn't matter if we market. It doesn't matter if we create any buzz. People are just going to show up because it's Connor McDavid. The Oilers didn't sell out their home opener, right?
Yeah.
You still have to put in the extra work. You still have to go out and create compelling storylines and give people a reason to go to the rinks, to go to the football fields. And if people aren't coming, you know, we always want to create excuses. We said this on the air, and I've heard this lots. You can have excuses or results. You can't have both, right? And the soccer is hey, look at it. It's captivating people. They're creating a buzz. There's a storyline. There's a reason to show up. There's a reason why you need to show up today and not tomorrow. You know, look, I'll be honest. I'm getting into it. We watched it over dinner, you know, after our in our post-game meal on Friday, or after our meeting. It was great watching the soccer game. It feels like the Olympics. You know, I feel like I'm a expert in downhill skiing or judo or whatever. You know, I'm just captivated by a little bit of the moment. They do enough to tell me the storylines, why the game matters, and why I need to watch and what the outcome is. We're not seeing enough of that in the Canadian Football League. We're seeing it a bit in the National Hockey League, but even then, you know, they're a little bit guilty of saying maybe we're too big to market or too big to fail, you know. But it's going to catch up with everybody who doesn't want to put in the work. The second you want to put your feet up, putting your feet up is meant for retirement, right? You can't put your feet up when you're still trying to accomplish something. So I feel like we're a little bit complacent, and we think people are going to show up just because of who we are, but that's not always the case.
The warm-up's brought to you by Ecol Electric. Come see our sales staff and in-house specialists for all your electrical needs. The text line is open. We've got the Great Western Brewing Company weekend photo album to get through. We've covered NHL, NFL, now the CONCACAF soccer. Who would have thought? Write it down that we've done that. But when we come back, ball for all, CFL, U Sports. There's a lot of NFL questions that are coming in. We haven't even come up with a poll question, by the way. We have to do that. We have to come up with a question, Darren. We haven't. And Carlo Colaiacovo and Sean Reynolds coming up. We'll be right back. You are watching on this Monday, Canada's daytime sports talk show on the Game Plus television network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is, and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming at the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Monday Sports Talk rolling on here, Canada's daytime sports talk show. Thanks for joining us. I see Sean from the Game Plus control room writing us in downtown Toronto. He says, happy Monday, RP team. Do you think the Chiefs are back? Also, what was Deshaun Jackson doing on that play? Well, with regards to the Chiefs, and I'm not going to talk any more NFL than this, they're the number one team in the division, in the AFC West, okay, with 6 wins. The Chiefs, if they went away, it wasn't for long. They're still the Kansas City Chiefs. Back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. They're fine. We have, not breaking news per se, but an announcement that I need to read, Moose. It's come from the Humboldt Broncos Memorial Golf Tournament, the 5th annual Connexus Credit Union Humboldt Broncos Memorial Golf Tournament, hosted by Jared Bednar and Brian Munns. In conjunction with the Humboldt Broncos and the SJHL, we're excited to announce the 5th annual Connexus Credit Union Humboldt Broncos Memorial Golf Tournament, featuring the Hunter brothers And 2022 SJHL Hall of Fame induction weekend will be held Friday, August 5th and Saturday, August 6th in Humboldt. In all caps, everyone in attendance must have proof of vaccination. And from there's a lot of information here. But what does it say? As previously announced, the class of 22 to be inducted into the SJHL Hall of Fame includes Bob Beattie, Jared Bednar, the current head coach of the Colorado Avalanche, Kelly Chase, Dean Brockman, Sheldon Brookbank, Wade Brookbank, Chris Cuthbert, Kurt Giles, Elgar Peterson, Brett Stewart in the 08 Humboldt Broncos National Junior A team. So there you go, Munzie and Bedsy. That's coming up in August, the 5th annual Humboldt Broncos Memorial Golf Tournament. Now, Darren, can we get him on the screen? They're asking, I don't know if you can see the comments here, they're asking for a youth sports update. They're asking for a junior football update. They're asking. Just take a sip of your coffee, sit back and enjoy, and we will get to it all. But I feel like we need to talk about the Canadian Football League and what went down in Week 15. The biggest game of the weekend, I felt, was the Argos-Hamilton. Toronto won 31-12. I was like, don't go to the media room to watch the game. I'm like, the blasted time change. I thought the game was going to be at 5. It was at 6. You know how we don't change our clocks here in the Bermuda Triangle? It's just that do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Right.
So by that point, I was up in the press box. I didn't get to see much of the game at all. And then I saw Calgary beat BC 33-23 Friday night. It wasn't the best game, but Calgary clinched a playoff berth. So it was an important game nonetheless. Then on Saturday, Montreal clobbering Winnipeg 28-14 in Montreal. Sean McGuire heaves 3 interceptions for the Blue Bombers, and there are no nice interceptions at all, but they were all ugly from the ones that I saw. And then Sask beat Edmonton 29-24, and I didn't watch all the game, but I watched enough of the game. There was some big plays, big 82-yard kick return, for God's sakes. What are people bitching about in the Rider Nation? Yeah. Their team's won 4 in a row. They're 9-4. They've clinched home field. Anybody that wants to complain about that, again, don't come here to complain about it because we won't listen. But what we were listening to was the referee, Tom Valesi. We have to talk about this, I believe. It was sent to me from a viewer because I didn't catch it at the time. And you've seen it multiple times since. The video to start the second half. They're throwing the quarterback. They're showing the quarterback throwing the football, Cody Fajardo, with his ball cap on. Start of the second half. He's not even paying attention. Well, apparently neither were his teammates because they weren't lined up properly, and Saskatchewan had to take a timeout to open the second half. Like, where are your heads, guys? And the referee, Tom Valesi, you just heard him. You didn't see him. Saskatchewan has called a timeout. F them.
Oh, no.
Right? And then later on, CFL PR has to issue an apology on behalf of the CFL and the referee himself. And it's like, are you apologizing that you swore or are you apologizing that you got heard? And I just wonder if that's the end of it, because I don't think it's the end of it. I know Saskatchewan pretty well, but more than the football team, but I also know football people overall. They're not going to let it die with an apology. It'll be he disrespected us. And then the further, what does he have against us? Why would he say F us? Even though you can say F you to the referee 100 times a game, but he says it back, and all of a sudden it's a problem. You got to apologize.
Yeah.
And I just think, where do you think this should go from here? Because the football people are saying to me, he should not be allowed to officiate another Saskatchewan game the rest of the year because clearly he's got something against Saskatchewan. And I'm thinking, well, maybe Saskatchewan should look at why he would say that and why were you not lined up properly for the kickoff to start the second half that you got to call a timeout. Maybe look in the mirror. That's my take, but what's yours?
My take, too, is I need a little more context. Mm-hmm. I think we have, pretty clear, what he said, but there could have been so many circumstances as to who he was saying it to, who he was saying it about, what he was talking, somebody might have whispered to him, the fans don't like that one, well, F them, or that, somebody's upset. They didn't want to use their timeout. Well, F them. They had to use it, or you should have reset the play clock, or who knows what was said to spurn that comment? That's what I want. I want a little more context. I want to know exactly who this was to, who he was talking to. Was he talking to another referee? What's the situation around it? I want to know more about that. But I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't. But if more context comes out and it was directly at the team and he was showing signs of being biased towards one team, then maybe we got to find out what was going on. I need a wide shot of when that was happening.
Do you think he gets off, or the CFL gets off, with just issuing an apology and we move on? I mean, I might have completely misread the situation. Maybe Saskatchewan will laugh it off, ha, 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 and move on to the next game. But I don't think they will. I don't think they will at all.
If he's getting caught with a live mic saying it, then it's not the first time, right? So, I mean, the teams will have heard this. He'll have talked this way. If it's to the team, then the referee will have talked this way to the team before, right? And it's no issue. If the teams haven't come out and said something, before the live mic video came out right during the game, I guess. But if the teams haven't come out and said something, then I think that this will go away. I really do. I think it will be nothing. But if more context comes out and somebody's getting screwed, yeah, it could be a bad thing.
How do we know? What context is going to come up?
How do we know?
Say? Antoine on YouTube says, "Morning, fellas. Thought the F-bomb was hilarious as a Rider fan. I'm sure much worse gets said on the field and in the stands. Also, looks like Mosaic might be a sellout for the 28th. That obviously is the playoff game. I mean, I thought it was funny, too. I think we can all, our virgin ears have heard it before. Not that... You're going to put mics on the field, what the hell do you think's going to happen? How about that?
How about that?
These guys keep getting hell for what goes over the air. Well, you put mics down on the field level, what do you think goes on down there? Do we need to go back with my rant for Bronco Plumbing and Heating, your factory-authorized Bryant dealer, and say that those mics shouldn't be down there at all? Right? I've been saying that for years, but the next time they listen to me will be the first time. Mike Horrigan's watching in Toronto. He says that awkward silence from the broadcast team was hilarious. Tommy Halleck's watching in Winnipeg, Winterpeg, as it turns out, Moose, right? You know Tommy Halleck, T-Bone.
Yes.
He says if Ken Lazaruk got a 2-game suspension for saying he's Gonzo Alonzo back in 1987, Valesi ought to sit for 5. Are we talking about an actual sit-down suspension for referee Tom Valesi?
No.
Tim Peel got fired for what went over the air in the National Hockey League last year. Let's talk about that for a second. I don't think this is over with at all. Eric Thomas watching on YouTube says, hang on, Eric Thomas, I had no issue with the referee cursing. It's part of the game. So too is even up calls, and nobody wanted to admit that, and Tim Peel got fired. I was watching the Florida game the other night. Was it the Florida game? It was. Because Ed Jovanovski was doing color, and it was the game, I think they were spanking Arizona. Florida was. And it was like, or maybe it was the game they got up 4-0 on Carolina. That's what it was. And then they start calling all these penalties on the Panthers. And Jovo goes, oh, now the refs are going to make it up. They're going to make it a game now. And I'm like, he can say that? We all know what he means, but no, Ed, that doesn't happen. This is why I'm just like, oh, my God, man. Where are we going here? Where are we going? Can you tell me, Darren? That's not a rhetorical question.
I know it's not. People are gonna hammer me if I say that, they have to manage the game. The referee's there to manage the game. And the non-sports, and I don't want to say the non-sports people because that's not, they're still sports fans, but they'll say, no, they're there to call the rule book. They're there to keep the game fair. They're not there to keep the game even and create stuff to let a team back into the game, but they're there to keep the game fair. I always say that. I mean, I always look back to how referees came into sports, right? I'm playing against Rod in the pond, one-on-one, but he's, a foot taller than I am, and he starts rubbing my face in the snowbank and then tapping it in the empty net. Well, that's not fair. So we bring a referee in to make sure he doesn't cheat, right? Not necessarily to call every little thing in the book, but to make sure that the game is fair and nobody's cheating. Managing the game, it happens. I mean, look at the football game. I mean, it was a 35-point spread on the weekend. Teams up really big. I don't really need to call this little chintzy holding a penalty against the team that's getting crushed.
Yeah,
right.
I need to stop
that's
you
not
there.
fair.
I need to stop you there because we got to move on and get to these topics before I let you go and bring you back in hour 2. Kevin Sidebottom's watching in Hamilton. He says, I think the F-bomb at Mosaic was hilarious. No reprimand required. Who doesn't want to say F them to the Riders? LOL. He says, hey, Canada West semifinals this weekend. The Hardy Cup last weekend. The Hardy Cup is set. We got people writing in about the Eastern games and the Montreal Carabins. Moving on. Big win was over Laval, right? But you were in Winnipeg. Just talk about those semifinals, if you don't mind. The Bisons beat Alberta 43-17 in the Snow Bowl game at IG Field, and Sask beats UBC 38-17. Sets up a Saskatchewan-Manitoba Hardy Cup. Your thoughts on the weekend?
2 completely different wins, full of snow and the cold in Winnipeg. The Bisons 265 yards rushing the football to win that football game. On the other side, Saskatchewan beat UBC. Mason Nias 381 yards passing the football and 3 touchdowns. So it makes a really intriguing, Hardy Cup, the 84th Hardy Cup next Saturday afternoon at Griffith Stadium in Saskatoon. It's going to be a lot of fun. But Manitoba was physical. They ran the ball really well. They did all the things you need to do in the playoffs. And Saskatchewan is a complete team. They are the powerhouse, maybe in the country. So it sets up a really good Hardy Cup on the weekend.
Nice update there, Moose. T-Bone, still watching in Winnipeg, says, I watched the replay of the semifinal with the Herd and Bears. Great job, Moose and Dunk. The swearing the field level mics picked up made Valesi's F-bomb look like a kiddie party. How about that? Chris Bird in King City, Ontario says, Yates Cup is set for University of Western Ontario and Queens. Oh, that's a big one, too. Moose, we'll see you in hour 2, right?
See you then.
We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show. It's Canada's daytime sports talk show on the Game Plus television network, YouTube, live streaming daily and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy, it's pretty impressive.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. Canada's daytime sports talk show continues. We are broadcasting from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, right in the middle of Winnipeg, Calgary, and Edmonton. And we pause the football discussion to bring in our good friend Carlo Colaiacovo, TSN 1050 Toronto. G'day, Carlo. Hi. It looks beautiful there, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Rod. It is a beautiful day here. I believe it's 5 degrees Celsius, but the sun is shining, and nothing better you can be asking for in a day like today.
No kidding, and talking hockey, too. Look, I'm going to give you a chance to not talk about the Leafs for a second because you do it for a job. All those teams I mentioned, the Jets, the Flames, and the Oilers are all coming off wins. And I just kind of wonder what you're thinking of these Western teams out here in Western Canada. If they're all for real, they've got like pretty good winning percentages, all of them. Who do you think's the best team in Western Canada in the NHL?
Well, I think going into the season, I knew Edmonton was going to be good because it was the first offseason that Kenny Holland had with this group and assembling the team that the way he envisions their success. And obviously when you start the season with two of the best players in the world and McDavid and Draisaitl, we're seeing the damage they do on a night-to-night basis. So I think, if anything, I'm a little bit surprised at how much they've won so far, considering, their goaltending situation. But that's just a credit to the depth that they've created to that lineup. So I expected Edmonton to be good. I expected Winnipeg to be good. They did a good job retooling their defense, bringing in guys like Nate Schmidt. And, they got Connor Hellebuck back there, and you see the star power they've got up front with Stastny, Connor, Ehlers, and Blake Wheeler, Scheifele. And I know I'm missing somebody, but I can't think of all the guys off the top of my head. But they've got, they boast some of the best top six forwards in the game. And so I kind of expected those two teams to start off really well and to have a really good season. I think the surprise to me is the Calgary Flames. I mean, they've gotten off to a tremendous start. They seem to be getting better with every game. And, credit to Daryl Sutter. He's really put his mark on this team. I know there was talk in the offseason of them, reshuffling maybe some of their core players. I don't think they did. I don't think they got a chance to do that too much. And maybe it's not what they needed. Maybe they just needed a coach like Daryl to just, infiltrate some more structure with their lineup. And I did their game the other night against Montreal. And I think the one thing that impressed me the most about Calgary is you knew they were going to play with some physicality. You know, they're going to play a heavy game and be really gritty, but just the speed that they play at really impressed me. So it's good to see Canadian teams doing well. Nice to see that there's a Battle of Alberta that's going to be created this year, hopefully, between the two teams. But all in all, it's been a pretty good start to the season so far.
Wonderful, wonderful answer, by the way. And my mind jarred on several things, Carlo, as you were going on there. And one is the Hockey Hall of Fame inductions going on in Toronto.
Yeah.
Right now, I think, Kevin Lowe, Doug Wilson, Jerome McGinley, Marian Hossa, Kim St. Pierre, and Ken Holland. My question to you is this, because you're a wonderful historian of the game of hockey in the National Hockey League. Who is the best player out of these two to never win a Stanley Cup? Jerome McGinley, Marcel Dion, or somebody else that I haven't even thought of? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, look, Marcel Dion's name speaks for itself. Obviously, I didn't get a real chance to watch him play too much, but I'll go with recency bias here just because I played against him in my career, and that's Jerome McGinley. There's a reason why he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame today because of his career, his resume, and what he represents. I mean, a heart and soul type of guy, captain material, historic career, guy that can score goals, a guy that really can play any way you want to play. And, I don't think there's a bad word to be said about him, no matter who you ask. That's just a credit to him and to credit what he's accomplished in his career. And to think you go back to that Stanley Cup final, I think it was 2004 or maybe 2005, where Calgary played Tampa in the finals. And that, imagine if there was nowadays, you could challenge stuff at times, or you can get somebody to buzz down. That shot that looked like it crossed the goal line in Game 6 in Calgary, but obviously Tampa Bay came back to win that game and winning it in Game 7. Looking differently at Jerome McGinley's career right now as a Stanley Cup champion. But, look, some guys play great careers and accomplish so much individually and even team-wise that, I truly believe that Stanley Cup is one of the hardest trophies to win, and here's a perfect example of it.
And it was in. And I'm not even a Flames fan. And Darryl Sutter would have Stanley Cups with 2 franchises. If that it was.
That's right.
And people that say that Mika Kiprasov is the better all-time Flames goalie than Mike Vernon would have an argument. But I still say it's Mike Vernon because he's got the cup. But I'll finish on this. We got about 2.5 minutes left. Obviously, you see, Carlo, I'm a stickler for the old school, and that's fine. It's whatever. We need new school guys like you two.
I'm
sticking up, for the 70s and 80s guys because I saw them play. But the Leafs, holy, what a toilet seat up and down they are this year. How much fun has it been watching them?
I like that phrase you used, the toilet seat, because it's really been the toilet seat of this team. And not in a bad way, in a good way, because it's been so up and down. And, there was real concern around this group to start the season because you saw a carryover from last year's playoffs. And, it's amazing when, you're going through rough times and there's an instance in your season where you just look back and reflect and you wonder, okay, where do things turn? And it was the game against Chicago where, everything in Chicago that they were dealing with off the ice and some of their COVID issues and some of their players missing. And early on in that game, actually before that game, all the speculation was the Maple Leafs have been here before. They went into a Saturday night game against Pittsburgh where they basically played an American League lineup and, got their butts handed to them in a 7-1 loss. And that was the hesitancy about going into that game. And then they start that game, they're down 2-0. And the players came out and said it. It was a conversation. I don't even know if it was a conversation. It was a statement made in the intermission in that locker room where you had leaders step up and actually voice their strong opinions in the room. And I think the message was sent to the guys that, the way they were playing, to start the season was just not going to be tolerated and was not acceptable. And they found a way to come back and win that game. They get a big win in overtime. And now next thing you know, they're 8-1 in their last 9 games and feeling pretty good about themselves. And, there's reasons to still worry about this team. I think everybody knew looking at this team that they were a good team and they were going to be a potentially a playoff team. I still had doubts for that because they're playing in a better Eastern Conference with better teams in their division and in the Metro division where I think there can easily be 5 or 6 playoff teams if you look at the way it's constructed today. So, look, these are points that you can never get back, so you've got to bank them when you can get them. I think they're starting to show signs of the team that they want to be over these last couple of games. I mean, you just go back to the Tampa game where they grinded it out, found a way to tie it late in the game and win in overtime. And, you know, they saw the same thing on Friday night against Calgary, against another good team where they did a lot of good things, couldn't really score. They stuck with it. They get a tying goal and they win it in overtime. And I think that's what good teams do. They find ways to win. But there's still a lot of question marks for this team moving forward. It's a matter of the consistency that they want to play with and staying healthy. I mean, as good as Jack Campbell has been, you can't expect him to play every game this year. So that's an area of concern with Peter Mrazek on the shelf for the next 3-4 weeks. And, you know, I think it's pretty safe to say that this team is going to go as far as their best players take them. And you talk about their core four with Morgan Riley being their core five on defense. When those guys are clicking, they're a tough team to beat. But when they're not clicking, it's a question mark of what their depth is going to bring. And we're starting to see glimpses of that lately, but still a long ways to go. And only they can show and prove everybody in Toronto that they're willing to take that next step. And I think for Toronto too, like, people are over the regular season success. They want to start seeing the playoff success. So the real judge of this team will be determined come playoff time.
I would think they're long over that. Absolutely. Carlo, always enjoy the visit, man. Enjoy the beautiful, balmy weather and the rest of the hockey. There's a lot of hockey left. That's the best thing. Thanks for the time today.
You got it, buddy. Anytime, Rod. All the best to you guys.
Carlo Colaiacovo joining us from Toronto, TSN 1050. Taco Time viewer takeover coming up. This is the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
I started the Chat Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I am proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of time. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Rod Squad? Now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Taco Time Viewer Takeover. I do have a sports update to get to. A text has come in, Clark. I don't know if you saw it, from Allie in Edmonton, and she sent a photo of the Braden Holtby sign. If you have a chance to download that and let's show it. What the hell? It's Viewer Takeover. If they want to send their photos, we can do that now with a new text line. But it's funny. I got 2 liners to read from Taco Time, and I want to read them both. 1, online ordering is available. Try it today and get a free burrito on your first order. Use promo code FREEBURRITO when you sign up. And the other one is, they're not tater tots, they're Mexi fries. Are you sure about that?
Spicy.
Exact. That's what I think. The Mexi fries might be a little spicier than your garden variety, run-of-the-mill tater tots that you buy from McCain's. But dang, they sure look the same.
Hot take.
Right. So they might be a little spicier. I don't know. Here's a sports update for you. A 6-game Western road trip begins today for the Raptors. Toronto's in Portland. The road trip will also see the Raps visit Utah, Sacramento, Golden State, Memphis, and Indiana. Raps not home until November 28th against Boston. Only 2 games on a quiet night in the National Hockey League with no Canadian teams in action. The Islanders face the defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning in Florida, and the Blue Jackets host the Detroit Red Wings in Columbus. By the way, the Florida Panthers, our number 1 team in the NHL last week in our rankings, have lost 4 in a row. I want to talk next hour with Moose over if that is a fad or a trend. Meanwhile, newly acquired NFL receiver Odell Beckham Jr. could make his debut tonight for LA on Monday Night Football. Rams signed OBJ last week after Robert Woods went down with a season-ending knee injury. LA's at San Fran tonight. Both teams coming off losses. Do we know for sure whether OBJ's in or not? Does anybody know? Yeah, we don't know yet. Good reason to tune in, 7:20 p.m. kickoff from Levi Stadium. This last minute of play in hour 1. Last minute. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games. Book your group or business party now for the Tab Brewhouse and drive-through liquor store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. The Moose will rejoin us in hour 2 coming up after this break. So much to get to. I see people are gravitating towards this. Who's the better NHLer that never won a cup? Marcel Desjardins, Marcel Dion, or Iggy? Darren Workman in Salt Lake City says, high school girlfriend worked at Taco Time. Says Mexi fries are definitely not tater tots. Yeah? Well, what's the difference? Tell us. We'll get to the bottom of that when we come back after this break, too. It's the RP Show you're watching on Game Plus TV.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? We have something really special.
Holy.
It's pretty impressive.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds, feeling the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down, bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
Addiction. It destroys relationships, families, and lives. It makes individuals and the people who love them feel powerless. But the good news is that addiction is a treatable illness. At Aurora Recovery Center, we provide everything you need to build a solid foundation for your recovery, with holistic, evidence-based treatment tailored to each individual. Located in Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg, Aurora can help regardless of whether or not you feel ready or have tried before. Aurora Recovery Center. Recovery for life. Visit aurorarecoverycenter.com for more information today.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
No. They talk about the Cowboys every day. You understand there's 31 other NFL teams. How many Major League Baseball teams are there? 30? 32 NHL teams. They only talk about the Cowboys.
How about that?
They're America's team, and by the way, it's all just marketing. Have you watched the documentary on America's Team or the football life? It was just marketing. It was the late 70s. But the football guys didn't like it.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome, everybody, to Hour 2 of the RP Show, Canada's daytime sports talk show, rocking and rolling into episode number 611 here. We're broadcasting from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. Everybody's in a good mood today. I can just sense it. I can feel it. We're trying to get to the bottom of a few issues here. And before we bring in the Moose from Winnipeg, where he's basically storm state / stranded, I was reading that liner from our newest, most cherished news sponsor, Taco Time, yesterday. They're not tater tots, they're Mexi fries. It has cracked open a massive debate. And John in Edmonton writes in, I got to find it here because there's so many here it is. Mexi fries are just plain tater tots. Come on, people.
Oh, spicy.
Taco Time says they're not. And by the way, so what if they are? They're all great, but they say that they're not. And I want to find out the difference. And then from the text line, which is open for business, 902-518-3033. Allie in Edmonton writing us. She says, good morning, RP Show. I was a passenger, so I took this pic of the other Braden Holtby display at Marshall Sask. Sorry, not the best pic of it. We were home for the game. Go Riders. Have a great week. Clark, can you show the whole thing? Clark's like, it's a little blurry. It's not that good. I'm like, nah, let's show it. Can you show the whole thing or no? I'm like, that she took the time. There you go. See, Jordan thinks there was a Sasquatch in the background. If you look really close, there's a half man, half ape in the back of that picture. But that's through the home of Braden Holtby. And thank you, Allie, for slowing down. And tell Kevin next time to stop because it's important to take the picture. And then, why not get into the photo album for the weekend, okay? For Great Western, this is all of our team, or a lot of our team, what we got up to this weekend. I don't know where we start. For Great Western Brewing Company, I took this one right down at ice level for the Pats of the Lethbridge Hurricanes Saturday night. I said, this never gets old. I love it. National anthem, God's team, the Regina Pats and the Hurricanes. That was Saturday, part of a 2-game weekend for the Pats. This was what? Moose. This is the view from his hotel. This is Winnipeg for you. Hashtag, how about that? Very similar to here. This is Ted Lasso and Justin Dunk on the sidelines getting ready to call the Bisons and the Golden Bears Saturday from IG Field, where they delayed the game to clear the field. Holy Canada. This was from our man Pat from Saskatoon, the Jug. He took in that soccer game in Edmonton on Friday night, Canada, Costa Rica, which Canada won 1-0. We're really rolling, I'll tell you, Canada. And this is Olivia. Can we get the full shot or no? This was her selfie. She did the sidelines of the Thunder versus Hilltops PFC championship game Sunday from Mosaic Stadium. So we were all over the place getting the sports broadcasting done here from the RP show. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Obviously, that was in warm-ups as she was getting ready in Canada's football shrine. So there you go. And by the way, the Saskatoon Hilltops won it 29-9 over the Thunder. So if we can bring the Moose back in. Oh, by the way, the weekend photos brought to you by Great Western Brewing Company. An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. A superior taste with only 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise. Purchase at a store near you today. So, yeah, Darren, it was a busy weekend for us all over the sports. You have not been on with us for about 30 minutes. Have you heard from the Husky people, by the way? They're all over us. They're wanting to preview the Hardy Cup on Saturday. It's going to be big. Griffith Stadium. You going to be there?
It's going to be huge. I'll have the call of it with Justin Dunk again. It's funny. We've been talking a lot about this. The Huskies finished first. The last 3 times they finished first in the conference, they didn't win the Hardy Cup. Each of those times it was Calgary. But Calgary's not in this anymore, so it's wide open. And now for the Huskies, too, they've now made it a thing where they're now back in this championship game every year. It's a regular thing now that they're back in it 3 years in a row. They lost, obviously, the last one. But they won it in 2018. They've got a very good team. They haven't ran the ball a ton these playoffs. Mason Nias is having a heck-Crichton-worthy season, so that's going to be fun. They spanked the Bisons a few weeks ago in the regular season. I think it was like 41-12 or 41-17. I'd have to double-check to make sure. But Manitoba's gotten better. Jackson Tuchinski didn't play in that game in the regular season, the rookie. They've been running the ball really well. Their defense is excellent. They're physical. And Manitoba, for whatever, seems to have Saskatchewan's number in some key games. So it's going to be a really interesting one. It's going to be fun. I believe, I'm expecting 10,000 people at Griffith Stadium. If they can hold that many in there, they're going to be all over the ground and everywhere. It's going to be a cool place to be.
Well, I think the best idea for the weekend is you go there, and then I'm going to go to the Rempel Temple to watch the Pats and the Warriors, and then on Sunday I'll be off to my next destination, so we can cover it all.
We'll have it all covered.
Lot of comments coming in from the viewers here. John in Edmonton says, can you talk about the rumors of an NFL team coming to Canada? He says, i.e., it was on your buddy's website at 3downnation.com. Supposedly the NFL governors were talking about it last week at their meeting, and that's what's great about the second half kickoff here. We talk about what the viewers want to talk about, but I don't really want to talk about it in the Taco Time viewer takeover, and here's why. I get the whole sports talk thing. That's why I kind of wonder, I was never really cut out for it, because I don't like to talk about what a lot of you people like to talk about, and that is, as my brother Lee would say, who's on his way home from Erie, Pennsylvania, everybody just wants to float around in this world of pixie dust and unicorn piss. It's not real. Can we talk about what's real? I don't believe the NFL is coming to Canada, but I won't say that it'll never come to Canada, because as our good friend Gary Echeverry says, what does he say, Darren? Never's a long time.
Never's a long time.
That's my itch impression. And if I had glasses on, I'd pull them down on my nose. Never's a long time. So I won't say it's never going to happen, but it's a major disservice to the Canadian Football League, and for that matter, Canadian University football, to talk about the NFL coming to Toronto, where there isn't even a stadium. Let's just say they're going to. How long is it going to take to build a stadium that would be worth $3 to $4 billion in Toronto? And you know, because we have a lot of viewers in Eastern Canada, the majority of them would rather talk about the idea of the NFL coming to Canada than talk about the fact that there is actual great football in Canada now, with Montreal going to the UTEC Bowl, and what did we say last hour? Queens and Western going to the Yates Cup, and Sask and Manitoba playing in the Hardy Cup. They'd rather talk about this freaking pipe dream that's probably never going to happen. That just ticks me off.
I know.
Over to you.
Right. The first thought was, it makes sense to me that it's going to happen.
Rod's ran for Bronco Plumbing and Heating, by the way. Yeah. Sorry.
Yes. Thank you. It makes sense that it's going to happen because the world's getting smaller. We're not defined by these borders anymore of Canada, U.S. We're all consuming the same info. It's all on our television sets. There's not really a whole lot of difference. So why wouldn't you put teams in Canada? It's basically an extension of the United States and vice versa. We're one big happy continent. You don't have to go overseas. The travel's not that difficult. Everything's pretty simple. But you hit on something at the end of that kind of makes me think, oh, and that is the stadium. Because if you're going to compete in that NFL landscape, you need to have similar revenue streams as the NFL, which we know that when it comes to merchandise, I mean, the Riders had sold merchandise that rivaled some NFL markets, and that's cool. You can compete at that level. But you probably need to have a stadium that can hold 60 or 70,000 fans to make this work, right? To be able to compete revenue-wise, you probably need 60 to 70. Now, Tennessee, Nashville's not one of the bigger markets in the NFL. I think they're pushing 69,000 fans at games now. So if you put it in Southern Ontario, you need to have a facility that can hold that many people. So is it imminent? Probably not. To me, you brought it up, and that makes sense to me that would be the big hurdle. You need a big stadium that can support that many people. You're not going to have the NFL coming to Winnipeg or Saskatchewan or Edmonton. Maybe Edmonton. They've got a big enough facility probably to hold an NFL team at Commonwealth. But you need to have the stadium if you're going to do it in Toronto.
Tacona Powley in Winnipeg says, Rod, shouldn't Toronto be talking about clinching first? Right? And maybe we should have talked to Carlo Colaiacovo about that last hour because his station carries the Argos games, and I'm not sure he knows. And that's nothing on Carlo. I don't get it. Now, from Sean McCormick, who's just been hammering away on this. Sean from Game Plus, our good friend, who was instrumental, by the way, in me getting season-long media accreditation to the Florida Panthers games in the National Hockey League. He says, hey, friends, any thoughts on the Chiefs? Are they back? Or was that a one-off performance last night? That's from Sean, who's flying the ship at Game Plus right now in downtown Toronto. Listen, here's the deal. Here's my take on that. The Kansas City Chiefs moved into first place in the AFC West with a 41-14 demolition of the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes threw 5 touchdowns and returned to his usual form after a surprisingly shaky stretch this season. Las Vegas has lost 2 straight. Sean, you clearly want to tell us if you think they're back or not. You tell us if you think they're back. This was how we will know. When they line up against America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, next week. That could be a Super Bowl preview. I'm just saying.
I think you're right. I think it could be. I don't think, people wanted to write off the Chiefs for a long time. Even when they were 3-3, I still thought it's still the Chiefs. You don't just lose it overnight. People learn how to game plan against you and whatnot, but they're fine. They're fine. They're going to be okay. The Chiefs are always going to be a threat. Do I think they're the favorites in the AFC? No, they're not close to that yet. I think Buffalo's still better. I think Baltimore's better and Tennessee right now. And maybe the Patriots, too. The Patriots might be better. So, no, not quite, but I think they're still there. They're always going to be in the conversation.
I'll throw this out here for Chris from Chris Bird in King City, Ontario. He says, Carlo Colaiacovo knows about the Argos. He and Aaron Koronyuk interviewed Murph on Friday. Can I get a how about that?
How about that?
From Jeff the Stamps fan. He says, what is a nice hotel close to Mosaic Stadium if I decide to go to the West semifinal? The Empire. That would probably be the closest. Walkable for you there, Jeff the Stamps fan. There you go. From Northside YEG, writes in, stay at the Empire Hotel on Sass Drive in Albert. Everybody's telling them the Empire. See? We look after these Stamps fans. They think we don't like them. But we do. I'm just checking the comments, Moose, in this viewer takeover here. I feel like everybody's in a good mood today, don't you?
Yeah, and why wouldn't you be? It's great.
By the way, did you send your regards to the Winnipeg Jets that you couldn't make their games? God was telling you that you weren't going to go to Winnipeg Jets hockey games last week. Explain to our viewers how that was the case.
I know, and thank goodness for Paul Edmonds and Jamie Thomas, CJOB, for having the call of that game. I was able to listen. It was fantastic. So great job, guys. Love watching or love listening to you call the games. But Thursday, left early to make sure we got here in plenty of time to do extra prep for the playoffs and to go to the Jets game so I could be on this show Friday morning, report all about the state of the union with the Jets and what they're saying, and really get a deep dive for our fans in Winnipeg, our viewers that watch loyally every day. And sure enough, stuck in traffic. That 6-hour drive turned into 13 hours with the great Manitoba storm. So I couldn't make it. And then we're sitting there planning to go to the game on Saturday right after our Hardy Cup semifinal. Well, the game wasn't at 2 like it usually is. It was actually at 4. So, okay, we'll make it for the last 2 periods because the Jets dropped the puck at 6. Well, our game got delayed because of the snow till almost 5 o'clock. That Jets game was over by the time we were leaving the stadium. So it became really unfortunate, but I got to call in with the Jets, and we're going to be okay.
Okay, good. Everybody's chiming in, so hang on. I'm going to get to all of it on the text line, 902-518-3033. When are we debuting the jingle?
Still refining it. I played it for you on the weekend.
Yeah. Text RP at 3033. It's not bad. It's not bad.
We're getting close.
Donald in Ottawa regarding Tom Valesi, the CFL referee who said F them regarding the Saskatchewan Roughriders on Saturday, caught on an open mic. Don says the ref swearing. Love it. Tell the Puritans to quit clutching their pearls. Love the honesty from the Zebras. What's the honesty that they don't like the Saskatchewan Roughriders? Could we at least see why the Riders might be upset about that? I mean, I feel like we need to take a break and come back and talk about that. Just too quick. We got a lot of viewers in Toronto today. That doesn't surprise me one bit. Sean from Game Plus says, thanks. Where did it go? Thanks for the response. Love the response. And I agree with what you said. They're right there. There are no dominant teams week in and week out right now. Anyone could win on any given Sunday on that. And Troy, can you guys find the comment from Troy? They're coming in too fast and furious here. Troy Colmer in Toronto. It's clear to me that Toronto is an NFL town. We don't care about the CFL here. Sorry, about 20,000 people out of the millions in the Golden Horseshoe surrounding Toronto care, but not many more. Well, as I say to my good friend Jim Lang, if Toronto's an NFL town, then Regina's an NHL town. How about that?
Bingo!
Newsflash, Toronto, you don't have an NFL team. Let's get with it. More when we come back. The Moose is in Winnipeg. I'm here in the Bermuda Triangle of the National Hockey League. You were watching on Game Plus TV. Live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep.
A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. Our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. And the Moose is with us, but not. He's in Winnipeg. But I like spreading the show out. I know you do too, Moose. And by the way, has your phone been going off, Darren, with an invitation for another on-location show on Friday, or are you broadcasting from your phone? Or you got your laptop going?
No, I haven't seen. I saw about on locations for next week.
Well, that's confirmed. That's me. But we've got an invitation here for this Friday for you and I, so I told them to call you. You're welcome.
Okay.
All right.
I'm excited.
So, yeah, you should be. And for our viewers, stay tuned. You'll find out where I think we'll probably do this. on Friday. A war has erupted amongst Toronto football fans in the comments on YouTube, and I want no part of it. It's between NFL and CFL, and remember the Bills series, and why aren't they coming back anymore, and who outdrew what, and I don't want to be part of that. I was talking to somebody about this, Darren. As a certified recovery coach, as you know, I make a living out of talking about things that people don't want to talk about. You know what I mean? You have to. To get the heart of the matter, you have to. But it's like a lot of these issues in the CFL right now or Canadian sports, they don't want to talk about them. And I'm like, guys and gals, we need to talk about them. Right? Let's rip up the floorboards. Let's get down to the studs and let's address the issue here. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you guys talk about it. I'm not that. No.
See, but that's human nature. You get a little water in the basement, so you put a couple towels on the carpet, until it dries up, and you want to just say everything looks great. Looks good. It's awesome. And then you wake up 6 years later with mold, and your lungs are shot, and there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, or there's a rattle coming from under the hood. Yeah? Turn up the radio. Let's go.
Don't hear that rattle anymore.
Everything must be fine. Everything's
the
great.
best mechanic is a good stereo.
We're playing the games. The games are on TV. What are you bitching about? And I'm at this point now where I'm like, yep. To the text line at 902-518-3033. From Brian in Withrow, Alberta. He says, NFL? Sure, let's raise our data rates higher so the Rogers family can earn more profits and build a false island for the pipe dream. Buffalo Bills experiment was a bust. Move on. More than anything, that's all I want to say about the NFL to Toronto dream. And that is that it is a dream. And it's a disservice to the Argos and the entire Canadian Football League to even be talking about it. So I'm not going to give it any more time. This is interesting. From Doc Turner watching in San Francisco. Doc Turner says, good day, Rod and Moose. Kate Burness of TSN should call games for the CFL. She would be so exciting to listen to. The guys we have on TSN calling games are so boring to listen to. Holy hot potato. Did you see the can of worms that Nick Lewis opened the other night during Friday Night Football in the Calgary-BC game?
I did.
Woo!
I did. I know.
Yeah. Nick, yeah.
You want to go there?
No.
Me either.
Just another Twitter cesspool discussion that I didn't feel like jumping in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me, I'm not, John and Edmonton, we're done. When I say I don't want to talk anymore about the NFL in Toronto, I mean it. Let's go to a sports update and while Moose has a couple sips of his coffee here. The Hockey Hall of Fame inducts its class tonight in Toronto of 2021. Kevin Lowe, Doug Wilson, Kim St. Pierre, Jerome McGinley, and Marian Hossa are going in as players, while Edmonton Oilers general manager Ken Holland is going in as a builder. The inductees were originally announced on June 24th, 2020, but the ceremony was delayed a year because of COVID-19. I talked to our good friend Craig Campbell, executive director of the Hockey Hall of Fame Museum, and he said, I haven't been able to watch the last couple of days because I'm busy getting ready for the Hall of Fame induction, but as soon as we get these guys and gals in, I'll be back. And he's coming over to YouTube. So that's exciting. So we'll be watching that tonight on TSN. The Ottawa Senators have canceled their practice today as they deal with an outbreak of COVID-19. The Sens placed forward Drake Batherson in the NHL's COVID-19 protocol Sunday. That makes 10 members of the Senators in the protocol. The Toronto Raptors tip off a 6-game road trip tonight against the Portland Trail Blazers. The Raps are off to a 7-7 start this season, but are 5-1 on the road. And Week 10 of the NFL season ends tonight with an NFC West matchup in San Francisco between the 49ers and the LA Rams. We put out the call. We put out a bat signal earlier to see if anybody knew if OBJ was playing tonight for the Rams, and nobody knows yet. I guess, what, is this going down to a game-time decision? I sure hope that they debut him tonight. It would be a ratings grabber. Anyways, this sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. If we can bring Moose back in, an entire new shipment arrived today, Moose. And I don't
saw
know if
on your social.
Yeah. I had one of yours. Sorry. I had one of the peanut butter chocolate chip. That's your favorite, right?
That is my favorite. Absolutely. Yeah.
I had one for you, and I thought of you.
Okay.
Everybody, it is taco time, viewer takeover. I'm feeling very spicy today. It's open. Let's go. I'm going to taco time. What do you got? What?
Oh, finish your taco time story.
I'm going to taco time today with Tony the Tiger. And all morning, I've been in a glass cage of emotion trying to figure out what I'm going to order. But I'm thinking today I'm going to do a taco salad. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh.
I know. Change it up, right?
Approved.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
I got your text. Not your text, but I got the text for our
What do you
week.
think?
So
Are we going on the road?
We're going. We're going on the road. How early you want to go? You want to go tomorrow?
Maybe
You
we
want to go Wednesday?
Maybe we go the night before. Oh, no, we can't. We got a party Thursday night. Right?
LFG.
That's right.
Okay, well, let's not get into anything.
We got some talking to do.
We got some explaining to do. Huh. From Ryan McCarthy.
I know.
What? Isn't it?
Why do things got to happen at the same time?
It's nice to be popular, right? It's nice to be wanted.
That's right.
Ryan is watching in Saratoga, New York. He says, I'm praying the RP Show will be on location at the Edmonton Elks Lodge number 11 on Friday. No. The Edmonton Elks meet Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:30, not Friday. And the Elks aren't even playing at home this week. They're in Toronto Tuesday and at BC Friday. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
All those quirky little only in the CFL things, right? Jason Wall watching in Winnipeg says, Taco Tuesday on a Monday. No, I refer to today as Taco Tuesday Eve. It's a taco salad day today. Jeff Kibilis in Winnipeg. He says, I see Calgary winning the West, and I'm a Bomber fan. And he goes on to say, Mexi fries and salsa con queso. Now, please. Is that the name? Taco Time officially refers to their salsa as hot sauce. So let's not, to quote Chris Jones, don't get it twisted.
I like it.
It's hot sauce, not salsa. John in Edmonton says, can you be on location in Yellowknife or the Yukon? I'll take that one, Darren. How about no? Unless it's summertime. It's cold up. It's
I'd
cold
go
up
in the
there,
summer
right?
again.
It's cold up there, right?
It is cold. Yeah, summer would be a great place to go. And actually, they have inquired.
Who has?
The radio station, a big fan of yours.
Let's go.
Stop the presses. This is, somebody was writing in here earlier about the Atlantic Schooners. Somebody wrote in and said the Atlantic Schooners will win a Grey Cup before Toronto gets an NFL team. You might have seen it roll across the bottom of the screen. And the unfortunate thing there is that what I heard from our Halifax source, Jamie Anstey, that people who had put down deposits for tickets to the Atlantic Schooners are now asking for their money back. And the wonderful thing is, the fact is that they're getting their money back. That's the only good news in that story.
Okay, yeah.
The comments are coming in so fast and furious here, I can barely keep up. Shane Smith is watching on YouTube and says, the Score app says, quote, OBJ will likely be limited in team debut Monday night, unquote. So are you drafting OBJ in your fantasy for tonight? I don't think you would.
Well,
but if you took Cam Newton yesterday, Bob's your uncle.
I know. And they thought the same thing about Newton, that there was a select package for Cam Newton, and all of a sudden he takes over the football game. So it could be the same thing with OBJ. I mean, Robert Woods is out, really their number 2 guy. You know, OBJ could slide into that number 3 slot, and they run a lot of 3 receiver sets. He might see some action.
My cousin Christine in Medicine Hat wants to know if I will be having a burrito along with the taco salad today. That is a game time decision. And she goes on to say, Riders all the way, you people. Moose, are you coming back for overtime or what? You think about it and get back to me.
Sounds good.
What I do know is we're going to take a break and go back to Winnipeg after this with Sean Reynolds from Rogers Sportsnet Jets. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, available all across Manitoba on Bell MTS Cable, live streaming on YouTube, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
In the heat of the summer, familiar sounds. Feel in the air, it's the best thing anywhere. Just give me back my game. 'Cause I live for the drama, I live for the emotion. No one can take me down. Bring me back my football.
BetRegal.net, exclusive sports gaming partner of the CFL.
This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital GMC.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. RP Show continues coast to coast, all 10 provinces and 31 states on Game Plus TV. We got some very interesting text questions have come in on our brand new text line, 902 area code. But we'll save that all for viewer takeover for Taco Time coming up next. Because right now we're going to Winnipeg with Sean Reynolds, our good friend. And Sean, I don't know if we should look back or look forward. The Jets have had points in 3 straight, but now they got a home and home with Edmonton, which it seems to me, Sean, everybody's talking about in Jets land.
Yeah, as they should. I mean, this is it was a dominant end to the season for the Jets against the Oilers last year, while the Oilers absolutely dominated the Jets in the regular season. So the Canadian division was a real kind of mixed bag for these two teams. But I mean, as it stands right now, they haven't seen each other, and they're not going to see each other nearly as much as they did last year. But I think what you're seeing here is two teams looking at each other from division to division across the way, seeing a very real possibility that these are the two teams that could end up in the Western Conference Finals. So I think there's going to be, a little bit of a urge for revenge by the Edmonton Oilers here, based on what happened in the playoffs last year. But I really do think it's these two teams are going to look at this as an opportunity to kind of decide how they're going to need to play against each other in the very real scenario that they could play each other in the playoffs and have to try and get past each other. A little bit of a different Oilers team, I think, compared to what the Jets saw last year. I like the Oilers' ads. The Jets' defense, which was a huge weakness last season, is a strength all of a sudden this year. So as familiar as these two teams were with each other, there's a lot of differences that each team is going to have to get used to.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sean, the Jets at 8-3-3, second in the Central, kind of going the way I thought it would go. If you lop off that horrid start by the Jets on the road, they're like undefeated almost. Like for somebody who just landed from Mars, what is the story on the Jets, why they've been so hot lately?
I mean, one, it's the defense that has kind of been fixed with the addition of Nate Schmidt and Brendan Dillon. Those two holes that were plugged were very much needed to be plugged. That happened, but it's depth, because the interesting part about this whole thing, Rod, is the what we consider the Winnipeg Jets nucleus, the Blake Wheeler, the Mark Scheifele, and the Connor Hellebuck. Those three players really have yet to get going so far this season. They haven't had a great start to the season, any of them. Connor Hellebuck, who typically in years past has earned the Jets 10, 12, 14 extra points a season just by going out and stealing games all by himself, hasn't been anywhere near that level so far this season. Mark Scheifele scores his first goal of the year, very timely, but his first goal of the year in the last game. Blake Wheeler really hasn't got going. And the interesting part about this, Rod, is Paul Maurice has been searching for solutions on getting that line going. He's broken them up now, so we're going to see Blake Wheeler is going to join a line alongside Kyle Connor and Pierre-Luc Dubois, who have been absolutely phenomenal this year. And then we're going to see Andrew Kopp, Nick Ehlers, and Mark Scheifele go together. It's going to try and break those two players up, which usually have played together traditionally for years and years now, to see if he can get that going. But that has been a segment of the team that has not been going at all. But the depth of this team has allowed them to carry through and, to one of the best starts we've seen from this team before. If you had told people at the beginning of the season they would do that without the contributions you would expect from Mark Scheifele, Blake Wheeler, and Connor Hellebuck, I don't think a lot of people would have believed it was possible.
No, and that means the sky's the limit. We got a lot of Winnipeg viewers, Rennie, where you are universally known as Rennie, and they want to know if you have left the arena since Saturday night's win over the LA Kings.
Oh, for sure I have. I know it doesn't seem like it. I set up in the exact same spot here for consistency's sake. But yeah, I changed my clothes. Maybe it looks like I haven't done my hair since that day. But yes, believe me, I get out. I get out of this place every once in a while.
Okay. Now, about that Central Division, we all thought, I think, or at least I did, that it would be Colorado number 1 and Winnipeg number 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But Minnie's there. So let's talk about the Wild and the Avs and how they've kind of flipped spot. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we should have saw it coming with the North Division the way it was last year, especially for the Jets, who are in a division where they're the only Canadian team in that division. You were thinking there was a lot of teams. You were watching the Central and thinking, what are these Jets going to come back to? And the most interesting team in the league, I thought last year, I guess maybe the most two interesting teams, Florida Panthers, I thought had a turnaround and ascended to a place where I think they can maintain and be a really good team for years to come. In fact, I have them representing the East in the Stanley Cup final this year. But the other team was Minnesota, and we were trying to figure out what made this team look so good, because they lost a lot of players and looked like a team that may be struggling to make the playoffs, and yet they were extremely strong. And the one thing that I've noticed this year is the Jets' win percentage is right around where it was last year. So they've switched divisions. They haven't played any of the teams that they played last year, but that winning percentage has stayed kind of right on par with what it was last year until they kind of fell off towards the end of the year. Well, it's the same story with the Minnesota Wild. They are just plugging along exactly like they did last year, which kind of puts you in the place where you got to believe maybe this is a team that, has found its way, found its style, knows what they're doing. The Jets played them earlier on this year, went to overtime, comeback victory by Minnesota. It looks like these two teams are going to duke it out. You talked about Colorado. I have to believe that at some point Colorado is going to figure this out. I do think there's a little bit of now I don't want to say Stanley Cup hangover, because they haven't got to where they've wanted to get in the playoffs, but I do think they're one of those teams that the regular season and all the success they've had over the last couple of years in the regular season is kind of meaningless. They've got a different goal, and I think a lot of times what can happen when teams fall into that mindset is they don't push as hard as they need to in the regular season. I have no doubt in my mind that at some point the Colorado Avalanche are going to figure it out and they're going to be hitting their stride come playoff time. So, I mean, hey, if you're the Jets, make hay while you can right now, while Colorado has decided not to play, because you got to expect them to be making a push at the end of the year.
We only have a couple minutes left, and I got 3 important questions. In 30 seconds or less, where does this Wild Jets rivalry come from, this hatred? I'm sorry I missed it. Why do they have such a great rivalry?
Well, I think it's regional. There's a little bit of something going on with teams will travel in, and they often play back-to-back. So the Jets will get a team right after they play the Wild, or the Wild will get a team right after they play the Jets. So I think they're very aware of what happens with the Jets or with the Wild when they're playing the team that is rolling into town. But it's as close as you get to a regional rivalry. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere here, Rod. You know what it's like. If you want to head to an NHL city, it's 12 hours to Calgary or Edmonton, or 24 or something like that to get to Toronto, or you can head down the highway, and if you really speed, you can get there in 6.5 hours to Minnesota, where a lot of us went to go watch hockey when it disappeared here in Winnipeg. So it's a regional rivalry thing.
Okay, cool. Great answer. Good answer. Do Winnipeggers know the number 1 team in junior hockey resides in Winnipeg, and they go by the name Ice? Is there any buzz about that?
You know what? Yeah, there should be. I mean, they're the best team in junior hockey. On our podcast, Kenny and Rennie, we give tickets away to every home game. And I don't even think that our audience really has an understanding of what we're giving away to them. I mean, an opportunity to see a couple players who are likely to go top 10 in the draft this upcoming year, a player that is maybe going to go in the top 10 in the draft the year after that, and a team that is just absolutely dominating in junior hockey so far. If they don't know, Rod, boo to them. Winnipeg should appreciate what they have here, which is, a generational looking team.
Exactly, and great people involved in running it too. I really believe that. Mm-hmm. And speaking of generational teams, the Bombers are giving up historically low point totals. Are they on your radar? And what's the buzz in Winnipeg about the Bombers?
Oh, geez, it's almost like they're dominating to the point of people aren't tuning in because they feel like they don't need to. It's kind of what I was saying. The playoffs are what matters this year. I think the Winnipeggers, to a degree, have taken a look at the Bombers and said there is no one who is touching them in the league this year, but we all know it's the CFL, and we've seen plenty of really good teams. I think of a couple Calgary teams that looked like the best team in the league that ended up getting upset in the playoffs. It happened against the Red Blacks in the Grey Cup final a couple of years back. So I think that they're Winnipeg fans, and especially now because they've locked up their spot, know the real football is to be played in the playoffs. So I really think you'll see the city ramping up at that time.
A wonderful Winnipeg sports update. Rennie, thank you so much. Give the guy a follow on Sportsnet and Ken Weep too, or on Instagram and for their podcast. And man, enjoy all your stuff. Keep it rolling, bud. Let's do it again soon.
You bet. Love coming on the show. It's great to talk to you, Rod.
Thank you, buddy. Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet Winnipeg joining us. And again, the Kenny and Rennie show, very popular in Winnipeg. Those guys do a great job. Taco Time viewer takeover is next, and it just, all kinds of things going on from the viewers. And that is right after this timeout. You're watching the RP show on the Game Plus television network, YouTube live streaming daily in 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
I started the Shatler Lacrosse Academy 3 years ago, and my main goal for the province of Saskatchewan was to spread the game and the awareness of lacrosse. Jeff Shatler here, number 77 with the Saskatchewan Rush. I currently play forward, 16 years pro. I live, work, and play in the province of Saskatchewan. Direct West's mission is to grow Saskatchewan economy by helping small local businesses win with digital advertising services, but they are also a major supporter of local sport, art, and charitable organizations. Year after year, Direct West continues to put their money where their mouth is, and ensuring the minor sports and art and music festivals can continue to thrive in our province. They continue to do all they can to promote our communities and assist nonprofit charitable organizations in the effort to improve the quality of life in the province of Saskatchewan. I'm proud to work with Direct West and call the province of Saskatchewan my home.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln. Unwrap a completely customized vehicle ordering experience. Reserve a pre-ordered unit that's already on its way. Or get into a pre-owned vehicle that's on the lot and ready to roll. And don't forget, we pay big for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from us. Plus, our service department is your winter headquarters. Get special pricing on name brand tires, storage, maintenance, and more. And we always offer free vehicle pickup and delivery. This holiday season, wish your way at Capital Ford Lincoln.
Smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Quinn.
We have a surprise for you.
Oh, my.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got plenty of time for overtime. Brought to you, of course, by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the National Hockey League and the UFC. And it is what we call Taco Time Viewer Takeover. And I could do those little reads that they gave me earlier, but I feel like the all-natural comments are even better, like this text message from Scott in St. Albert, Alberta. And guys, he says, hey, Rod, have you tried the Mexi Fries Poutine yet? Delicious.
Let's go.
Right? How does my doctor feel about me having a Taco Time salad today and Mexi Fries Poutine? I haven't checked with my physician before lunch today. Or I could go work out again for a second time today. Mexi Fries Poutine. Scott, is it a meal or a side dish? I have some investigating to do. We've been invited to Yellowknife to do a show. I was trepidatious. Donald in Ottawa writes in and says, Yellowknife in October is amazing. No bugs, still warm, and the local food is off the charts. I'll take that under advisement. John writing from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. What do you guys think about P.J. Walker's performance last night? Newton and McCaffrey put up all the points, but I kind of like how Walker moved the ball between the 20s. XFL, who knows? Maybe CFL quarterback someday? Well, were you reading my diary, John and Moose Jaw? Let me go to the big board and look up the stats for P.J. Walker. I said this guy was the greatest player in XFL history. He was the MVP in their ill-fated lone season of 2020. And he looked fantastic, P.J. Walker, yesterday for the Carolina Panthers. I watched that game out of Arizona. As equally bad as the Cardinals looked, P.J. Walker, he looked, what should I say? He looked nimble. He looked strong. He did move the ball very well. He looked decisive. He was protected well, I might add. What was the date yesterday? Oh, here it is. The line on P.J. Walker. Quarterback. He was 22 of 29, 167, one pick. Of course, they got into the red zone and gave the ball to Cam Newton. And Cam did fine, rushed in for one, threw for one. I like P.J. Walker, but I wouldn't say he'd never come to Canada, but I don't know why at this time, why he would. He's got an NFL contract, and he's starting games for the Carolina Panthers. And wouldn't that be something if they went into the playoffs with a two-head, well, if they even got to the playoffs, the Panthers, with a two-headed monster at quarterback between P.J. Walker and Cam Newton? Could happen. Randy from the Peg writes in at 902-518-3033. Great show again. Come back soon, Moose. The Moose is very popular in Winnipeg. And I know you people like our stories. And so when we were in Winnipeg in, August? We were walking outside Canada Life Center, the home of the Winnipeg Jets. We were walking towards the arena to do a live show, and the Jets just happened to be holding a news conference across the street. They were announcing Dale Hawerchuk Way. And this is funny, one of the wonderful Jets staff, it was an outdoor news conference with red velvet rope all the way around it. National Hockey League does it real nice. And she jumped over the rope, and she's like, Darren, you're from the Rod Pedersen Show. Where's Rod? He's right here. You guys got to get in here for this news conference. It was wonderful. And they just treat us so great in Winnipeg. People kept saying, why Winnipeg? And I say, why not? Jeff Caldwell, watching in Redmond, Oregon on TDS cable, Game Plus television. Jeff Caldwell writes in, why is RP pumping up the CFL while wearing a damn Cowboys shirt? I've hated the Cowboys since they let them get away with the offensive pass interference on the original Hail Mary. Again, why am I wearing it? Why not? Dallas Cowboys are my team, and this came from one of our sponsors, Ultimate Fan Zone. And when the CFL sends us stuff, we'll wear it. How about that? Still waiting.
How about that?
Still waiting. And I'm talking about the CFL office because we have had gear sent to us from the BC Lions, Toronto Argonauts, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So, yeah, I guess I could wear that stuff, but I almost ended up in the bottom of the lake. If you're paying attention, wearing Winnipeg stuff and Calgary stuff. Last minute of play in the RP show today. I've just been informed from Scott Stanley in St. Albert, Alberta, regarding the Mexi Fries Poutine. He says, I had it as a snack, Rod. I think you can upsize it. Well, now you know what's up for the rest of my day. Oh, we don't have time for the Great Western Ultra update, obviously. Clark, we'll do it tomorrow. It should be interesting to see what goes on. I have somebody from the officiating community texting me, and he will not go, I will not name him, but it's regarding the riders, the official, and the F-bomb, and wants to know where this is going. This is somebody from the officiating community. By the way, viewer takeovers for Taco Time. Online ordering is available now. Try today. Get a free burrito on your first order. Use promo code FREEBURRITO when you sign up. Tomorrow, Ozzie Weisblatt, San Jose Sharks prospect of the Raiders, and Matthew Barnaby. Join us then. I had this steak!
Bingo! I like it.